Hello, welcome back, the Genius. Today let's talk about advanced image handling. In the last class, we discussed image. Okay, so now let us break it down and talk more about advanced image handling. So, what is advanced image handling? Advanced image handling focuses on performance optimization. Now, I don't know if you have realized, you know that your images have sizes, okay? And I'm also going to show you when we talk about lazy loading, I'm going to show you that every image that you're seeing on your page is being loaded from the server. Every image you see on your page is being loaded from the server. So what it means is that if you have large amount of images, it will take there's something we call loading time. I'm going to show you. Okay, let me even do it right away. All right. So, especially when we start talking about lazy loading, you're going to see. So, let me show you something. Um, okay, so I'm coming. If I, okay, where do I have? You see this, okay, this page, let me go and run it. So we are going to check the network tab and we are going to see that every image is being loaded from the server. Okay, so if I go to inspect and then I go to network, okay, so you can see that this image is loaded. Okay, and this is the size of the image, 232 KB. That's the size of the image. And this is the time it took to load the image, 187 milliseconds. So it means that if you have 10 images, if you have 10 of these images, it's going to take 1,870 milliseconds. So that means it is taking time. So let me empty cache and reload. Look at the time it took for this your page to load. 1.72 seconds. That's the load time. It took 1.72 seconds for this thing to load. And what happens is that when you have more images here, all right, it's going to take more time. Okay, it's going to take more time. Look at the image that we loaded, this one, all right, 232 KB. It took 90 milliseconds to load. Do you understand? Okay. And this HTML form took 1.58 seconds to load. So all these things will add to your load time, and this is the load time. All these things will add to your load time. And if you have plenty images, it will take so much time to load. That is why you have to optimize your images. Okay, you have to use the best format. You have to use the very small images in their sizes. So when we talk about advanced image handling, we are talking about performance optimization, and basically it is about the load time, the size of the image they are using, the format of the image that you're using. We also talk about responsive behavior. Okay, you also have to make your images to be responsive. Okay, so maybe the width, the image should be responsive in every device that you use. Accessibility is also one of them. Search engine optimization, especially when you're building an e-commerce application. Okay, your images can also be searched by search engines. Okay, so modern formats and delivery. So now, this is not what you can learn right away because, like I said, this is advanced. So when you keep working with images, you get to understand this thing. But I'm just bringing it to your notice. It user experience across devices. When you optimize your images, user experience across devices will be excellent. So a well-handled image system makes websites faster, cleaner, and more professional. Most especially faster because the load time. Nobody will want search engines don't they actually rank websites that take at least 4 seconds to load. If it is more than 4 seconds, they don't do it. Do you understand? Search engines would somehow ignore it. So 4 seconds is the maximum load time your page should take. So when we talk about responsive images, okay, the problem is that one image size cannot serve all the devices. It cannot serve mobile phones and also serve tablets and also serve laptops at the same time, or even televisions. Do you understand? One image cannot serve. Okay, that is why, especially when you're working with a graphic designer, they should design these images for you for mobile, for tablets, and for laptops. You should not be using one image to serve every of your clients or your users. So the solution is that you have to use responsive images so that browsers can choose the best image automatically. Okay, so we talked about the source set, and in the last class, the source set was giving us issues. Both browser, even my browser, even I also wanted to talk about the resolution, but my browser, both my Chrome and this one was they were not giving me what I wanted, so it was hard for me to actually make that class. Okay, so you can use source set, but the picture element is actually easy to use for everything. So with the picture element, okay, we use the picture element when different images are needed for different screens. So if you want to show different image for the mobile phones, you want to show different image for tablets, you want to show different images for laptops or even television, this is where the picture element comes handy. And again, it is good. All right, the picture you show, the image you show on mobile should not be the same image you show on your desktop or your laptop. So this is the picture element. All right, look at what we have here. Our picture element has the source and also the image tag inside of it. So we have two source elements here. Okay, and the source element have an attribute, the media, and this media is telling us the maximum width of the device that this source can only go for. So now let me show you. So if I come here, now look at what we have here. Okay, now this is the picture element. All right, the picture element houses the source element. So now I'm telling the browser when the width of the device is less than or equal to 600 pixel, I want you to show this image. All right, this is the image I want you to show. When the source, okay, let me even make it more interesting. When the source is 400, I want you to show this one. And when the source is a maximum of, let me say maximum of 900. Okay, when the source is maximum of, okay, let me see, go with 1024. Okay, and then when it is minimum, when it is minimum of, instead of max there, I will say min. Okay, so let me just, okay, okay. Now look at what I'm doing here. I'm go for image two. That's the name of my image here. Okay. Now look at what I'm saying. I'm telling the browser, this is the okay. There's no need for this one I just added. Okay, look at what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm telling the browser that on small screens, I want to show this. On small screens, I want to show this. On screens that are less than 400, I want to show this gmail.png. Then anything that is greater than 400, any width device that is greater than 400, but it is less than 1024 pixel. That means it is between 400 and 1024 pixel. I want you to show this image. Okay. All right. I don't have another image. I would have added more sources. Then if it is beyond 1024, then I want, this is the main image. All right. But this image will not show on smaller devices. It will only show on bigger devices. So any image that is bigger than any device that is bigger than 1024, this will be the default. This is the go-to. So now let me go to this code. Okay, let me even give it, sorry, let me give it width. Let me give it width, please. Because it was showing. Okay, let me leave it. So I'm saving. I'll go back to the browser. Okay. So look at what we have here. Don't mind all these things you see. I have here hide frame, hide media query. Don't mind what I'm doing here. Okay. All right. Remove divide pixel. Okay. All right, just reset to default. Okay, so now look at what I'm having here on device that is look at what I have here. So you see that this thing is responsive on. Look at the image I have here. On any device width that is less than 400 pixels. Look at it. This one is 375. Anything that is less than 400, this is the image you are showing. If I go to my code, you will see that I said max width is 400 pixels. So anything that is, the maximum width is 400 pixels. So anything that is less than 400 pixels or less than or equal to 400 pixels, I want to show this gmail.png, and that is what we have here. So 375 is less than 400. So if I go down, okay, you can see now we are in device that is more than 400, and we now have this image. All right. So if I still go, anything that this one is, you see, this one is 390, width is 390, and we have the Gmail PNG. This one is 430. We have this other one. This one is 412. So all of them are more than. Do you understand? Now this one is 360. That is where we have the PNG image, the Gmail. Okay. Okay. So if we go for anything bigger than 1024, look at it. We have 1280. That is why we have this front end developer. All right. But if we go for anything less than, you can see this one is 1024. So I look at the different images. You can see that there are different images, right? There are different images, okay? 1024 and 1280. You can see there are different images. So that is what we have here. We are using the picture element and we are using the source. This is for the 400, less than 400 or 400 pixel. This is for anything less than 1024. So you can even add more images here. You can even add them targeting different sizes, okay? But once it is beyond 1024, okay, we are having this, okay? So that is the image source. That is the picture element. So we use it when we are working with cropped images on mobile, different focus areas, dark mode images. So this is responsive. The source set, I didn't know, it didn't work out well on my browser, so that is why I left it. But the picture also does the same thing, okay? So, but you can go on to look out for more on srcset, but this is working here. So modern image formats, make sure that you're using WebP. Your designer should be giving you WebP. They are smaller than JPG and PNG, and it will help to reduce your load time. All right, they are smaller in sizes, so it will take lesser time for the browser to load it. It supports transparency. It is widely supported by browsers. Okay, so try to use WebP. So if you look at what I'm using here, I'm using PNG and JPG. I'm using PNG and JPG. So, but tell your designer to give you WebP as the image format. We also have the IVIF. Okay, they will be smaller than WebP, but it's not. This is like the future. All right, they will be smaller than WebP. They are have excellent quality, growing browser support, but right now they are still not yet supported by all the browsers. So if you want to use it, you would also have some backups. So in case this one is not supported by the browser, then you can go with the it will fall back to this WebP. The WebP is supported by modern browsers. Okay, but this IVIF is the future. Okay. All right. So lazy loading. Let's talk about lazy loading. Okay. So now let me show you something. Before I go to lazy loading, let me go back to this thing. So I'm going to do something. You see all this image? I will cut it and let me just bring it here. That's the only thing I'm going to be having here. So let me give it style. Let me just style it so that I will style it, and then I will give it width of 100%. I hope it goes well. So if I go to my browser now, okay, so you can see the width, no matter the distance, is 100%. So now this is another way of responsive design. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to have as many as possible images here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So if I save it now, go to I have 20 images here, but let's go to the browser. How many can you see at the first time you load this image? We're only seeing less than 2. But do you know what? How many are you seeing here? We're only seeing 2 images, right? 2 of the images. Okay. So, but let's go to the network. All right. I am going to empty cache reload. Now, let's see how many of the images were loaded. Okay. Okay. So, this is not working. Oh my God. Now, there's something the browser is actually doing here that is preventing me from explaining this thing now. Because of it is one image that I'm using, because it is just one image, the browser is just loading only one. Oh, and I don't have plenty images here. Oh my God. I don't have plenty images here. Because I'm using one image, that is why. So maybe I will do image one. Okay. I will do image one. Okay, I think 3 images can still work for me. I will do image one. I will do image two. I will also do image 1800 so that I have. I just want to explain this thing to you. Okay, so maybe I can also do PNG, the Gmail dot PNG. Okay, so if I save now and I go to the browser, you can see that we now have them loaded here. Okay, so but let me empty cache and reload. Do you see that we have image one, image two? All these different images, we have them. And they all have their sizes, right? The size of this one is 45 KB. This one is, and look at their loading time. Look at their loading time. Okay. And if you take a look at what we have here, we are only seeing 2 instead of 4. So at the first time the browser loads, we only seen 2 images. So why should we load all the 4 when when at the first glance we're only seeing 2? That is when lazy loading comes in. Lazy loading would only load the first 2 and the remaining 2 will not be loaded. Okay, so let me take every of this thing off so that we'll just have space since it's not giving me what I want. Okay, so now let's go back to our slide. When you make an image lazy loading, it will not be loaded on the browser until there is need for it. Okay, faster initial page load. So let me go back to now. I'm going to make all these images lazy loading. I will just say lazy. Okay. Sorry, my Z is not giving me. Okay. So I will say lazy. Sorry, I will say loading, not. Oh God. I will say loading is equal to lazy. Okay. So I want to lazily load. So what I'm telling the browser is that don't load these images until they are visible on the page. So don't load them until they are visible on the page. I hope my loading this thing is correct. If I go to the okay, it's correct. So now I will go back and here I will save. Okay, now let's go to the browser. So we are lazily loading our images. So let me empty cache. Just right click on that refresh button and then empty cache. Okay. And then Okay, so it's like my example is not giving me what I want. Now, what it means is this, okay? These images would only be loaded when we scroll down. These images that are now coming up now, okay, they will only be loaded when we need them. But at the first time, all right, at the first time, they will not be loaded from the server. They would only be loaded when they are now visible. So when the first time we load it, they are not visible. So it will not be loaded. Okay, hard reload. Okay, so but somehow they are still being loaded here. So it's like my example is not really working. I don't know. Sometimes browser is a can also give you issues. So let me go to your browser setting can also be an issue. So let me go to, okay, I come here and then I would inspect. It's not normally once you make your image lazy loading, okay, they don't, they will not be loaded. So if I go to network, um, so if I go to network, they were still loaded here. But what I'm trying to say is this, or maybe I don't have enough images to explain this whole thing, but once you make your images lazy loading, they will not be loaded at the first time because they are not seen on the screen. The images that will be loaded are the ones that are seen on the screen. So if you now if you scroll down, then the browser will now load them. That is what lazy loading is all about. Okay, so it saves you bandwidth because the images will not be loaded. Okay, but my examples are not working. I don't know my browser settings. Okay, it improves core web vitals. Okay, the last time I did this class, it's everything. It went. My examples went well, so but I don't know. Okay, so now you can also optimize your images by compressing your images, reducing the file without visible quality loss. So make sure you compress your images or your videos, compress them so that it will reduce the size and it also reduces the loading time. The tools you can use are Tiny PNG, Image Optim, Squash. Okay, so proper sizing, large images scaled down with CSS. Don't serve images close to their display size. Okay, accessibility, use the alt text rules. Okay, um, informative, if your image is informative, describe the content in the alt text. If your image is decorative, it is not really important. It's just for decoration to make the website look good. Make sure that the alt text is empty. Don't don't enter anything in the alt text. But if it is functional, describe the action of the image. So make sure you have captions. You can use I talked about the figure and the figure element and the fig caption in the last class. SEO, descriptive file names. Make sure that your file names are descriptive, not image1.png. Okay. Make sure that your file names describe the image. Relevant authors, structured data for products and articles, optimize sizes, use lazy loading. In as much as my example didn't work out well and I don't have enough time to be debugging and see why it's not working well, but make sure that all your images use that loading equal to lazy. Make sure that all your images are lazy loaded. Okay, so example here, you can see that the name of this image, front end roadmap 2025 WebP. Look at, they are using WebP here. Okay, front end roadmap. So this shows that this image is for the roadmap for front end. And look at the alt text. It is very, very descriptive. Front end development roadmap for 2025. Okay, so background images. Do not use background images. Only use background images for decoration. Just make sure you use your image tag for content. Background images are just for decoration. Okay, use CSS background images for decoration. For SEO, short, make sure you're using background images. For SEO, for accessibility, make sure you're using image. But for decorations, okay, you can use background images. But don't use background images often. Always use your image tag for SEO. So now your as a mini project you can practice, create a hero section with a picture element. All right, this picture element, you know what it does? It displays images based on the devices. Okay, use lazy loaded, create a lazy loaded blog images. Okay, use lazy loading for your blog image. Create a page that just have plenty images, and then use lazy loading for them. Okay, so thank you very much, and I will see you in the day 3 of week 3.